welcome to GC Cars. My name is Eric and today we take a look at the 2020 Buick Encore GX. And before we start, really quick, you might already notice the format looks a little bit different. You can't see me right now. And yeah, there was an issue while I was filming this car, and that issue was, long story short, I had to quarantine about halfway through my 1 week alone with the Buick Encore, and that means I wasn't able to get most of the video done I usually get done. There's two segments, the exterior and the interior, that I was able to get, but everything else I wasn't able to film, so you see like POV drive footage in the background. Even that one I would have reshot it because it's slightly overexposed, but I couldn't because I had to quarantine very unexpectedly. So yeah, sorry for that, but don't you worry. If you're interested in the Buick Encore, the content itself and what I tell you, the information will be pretty much exactly the same as I would tell you anyway. It's just that it looks a little bit different today. Alright, so with that out of the way, the Buick Encore GX. Just a couple of months ago, we reviewed the 2020 Chevrolet Trailblazer, which is essentially kind of, not all, but very much the same car as the Buick Encore. The Buick has a different exterior, a different interior, and is a little bit smaller, but a lot of similarities between those two. So we have the same engine, we have the same transmission, we have the same chassis, and so on. So if you want to maybe get a bit more in depth, make sure to also look at that video. Link is in the top right hand corner, but we'll start with the Buick now. And as usual, we're starting off with the engine. So we got the 1.3 liter turbo inline 3 producing 155 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque. In the Trailblazer, I described it as slow but adequate, and I would say it's pretty much the same. It felt a little zippier in the Buick for some reason. The Buick weighs a little bit less. It's not really a lot less, so I don't know if it's coming from that. I drove a truck before that, and the truck was pretty quick. Maybe it kind of was coming from one car to another, but it, like I said, it's still the same thing. It's still adequate. It's still not too slow. You can still do everything that if you need to merge on the highway, it's still easily possible. You just need to rev it out a little. That was an issue, and of course we got a little bit of a launch, which I'll just show you here in the background. Okay. And okay. Like you can see, not quick, but I would say it's adequate. Anyhow, let's move on to the suspension, which felt pretty similar to the one we've had in the Trailblazer because it's to a large extent the same car. I don't know if they retweaked the suspension maybe a little bit. It's just been too many months in between for me to exactly compare them, but general feel, general opinion of the suspension is pretty much the same, with it being compliant, being, of course, just like more cars today, a little bit on the stiffer side, but it's definitely not uncomfortable or anything. Just harsher bumps. Do you feel them a bit, but that's to be expected at this price point. But I was never uncomfortable, and the car is in control really nicely. So even if you want to zip around town, some corners, you can even do that if you're into that. And that's actually kind of nice with the engine, because you have to rev it out a little bit, and you take a bit of time to get to like the speed limit. You can actually floor it for a little and around a turn. You don't have to instantly go off the throttle, which is nice if you're looking for that. But yeah, that's suspension. But you know what? Why don't we take a look at the exterior? Okay, exterior impressions of the Buick Encore GX. First of all, it's not black. I know it looks black, probably for you too, but it's actually very dark blue. The color is called dark moon blue, and right now in this weather it doesn't really pop that much, but especially if you get close or it's sun out, you see that it is actually blue, which looks really nice. And overall, I like the chrome accents. They work well with the mostly dark blue, not black, car. And I like Buick styling in general. Like, the headlights look good with our angle in there. I think it adds nice texture. Like I said, the chrome inserts look really good. We got chrome inserts in our wheels here on the sides, and the chrome stripe obviously going around the windows. Yeah, there isn't really much to say. I like it. I think it's a good looking SUV. It looks upscale, looks luxurious, which is exactly what Buick was going for here. And yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. Let's just send it back to the review. Okay, I'm back. Are we here in the voiceover segment, I guess, the quarantine voiceover. Anyhow, let's move on. I just want to quickly talk about the fuel economy. I wasn't able to really test the fuel economy, unfortunately. Because also, well, like I said, I had to go into quarantine. Anyhow, I'm just gonna steal this right off my Chevrolet Trailblazer review, because it's, like I said, same engine, same drivetrain, about the same weight. but pretty much very similar cars. So the Trailblazer averaged 7.4 liters per 100 kilometers for all my US people. That's 31.8 miles per gallon on like 1500 kilometers, which means that also includes accelerating and idling for video. So that's not really the most accurate number, but on like a long distance highway test, I achieved 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers, meaning 34.1 miles per gallon. So the fuel economy actually is pretty decent for this little car, I would say. Anyhow, we took a look at the exterior. Why don't we take a look at the interior? Okay, let's take a look at the interior of the Buick Encore, and honestly, I like it. I think it's a good looking interior. We got a good mix out of plastics and leathers, with the plastics being not the thickest, but very nice. Still to touch, they're kind of soft, and every touch point is leather. We have plastics in all the spots that aren't really regular touch points, and the plastics are still pretty soft, as you can see. Of course, down at the bottom where we have our door cubbies, it's scratchy, but honestly, that's fine. We never really touch that at all. Steering wheel, nice and intuitive leather, and yeah, I like it. Our seats, leather seats, we can have them heated. We have a heated seat button for that. They're very comfortable. We have our lumbar support, which we can adjust, and yeah, honestly, there's not much to say. I really like it. I think the whole design looks nice, especially over here in that area where we have our mesh up top and leather down there. Everything is physical. We have a volume knob. I would love if we would have like a tuning knob so we could switch channels, because it gets a little tiresome if you do it with the touchscreen, but we can set like 25 presets, so it's not too bad once you have it all set up. Wireless charger down here, and I've learned from the Trailblazer review, the center console is tiny, but you can take this little boy here out, and then you have a lot more space. Not much, but still a lot more than you usually would have if you leave that thing in. All right, like I said, I like it. Let's move to the back row. Okay, let's see if I still like it here in the back. Yeah, I do. It's still very nice. Like, the materials are pretty much the same. The plastic up top here is a little harsher and harder than it is up front, but once again, that's not really a touch point, so it's no issue. We have our leather here, which is nice and still soft to touch. We have seat pockets for storage. We have USB-C, we have regular USB, and an outlet down here if you need any connectivity. Plenty of room here for my feet down in the bottom, and in terms of space, it is okay. It's still a subcompact SUV, so I can imagine if you have a bigger driver, I'm 5'7", I really need to start making that disclaimer. If you have like a bigger driver, this is in my seating position, and a bigger passenger, you might run into some issues, but honestly, it's not too bad. At least for me right now, it is very comfortable. We have nice low back support here in the back seats, so it is comfortable at all times. And obviously with the glass roof we have right here, which is nice and big, there's a lot of natural light coming in, which kind of makes the space feel a lot bigger. If you need more cup holders, just like in pretty much every car, we have 2 cup holders right here. And yeah, honestly, I still like it. Let's just take a look at the trunk. And moving on to the trunk, the volume is right here. It's not the biggest, but it's fine. You can kick to open it. I hit it. It shines down the Buick logo at the bottom, just like the Trailblazer did with the Chevy logo, so you know where it is most of the time. And just like with the Trailblazer, it works most of the time, not always, but it works pretty well for like an automatic tailgate. Anyhow, like I said, trunk space isn't too big. We have a little more space down below where we have our spare tire, but it was honestly, most of the time you probably have plenty of space. But for the ritual we always do, let's see if I can comfortably lay down inside. And actually, it's not too bad. It was easy to get in. So if I were to be a suitcase, actually, it's not that bad. I've been in trunks which were a lot more uncomfortable. Nice. We also have like some cargo hooks. Same thing though with almost every car. I'd like to have some grocery bag hangers because it's just nicer, because it's easy to put them in, and you can just, don't have to worry about your grocery bags falling over. But in terms of usability, it's pretty good. Obviously, you can lay down the seats, so you have way more cargo space, and take this divider out, but you can see that footage right now. Anyhow, closing that one, I think it's time to continue with the drive. Okay, and from the interior, let's go right into the final thoughts. First of all, excuse my optics, but it's still, like lockdown and quarantine kind of takes a little bit of a hit on your appearance, but we all know that. We've all been through multiple lockdowns by now, so I don't think I have to explain that too much. But I just wanted to quickly summarize what I think about the Buick Encore. I liked it. I really liked it, actually. I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted with it, obviously, but I enjoyed my time with it. I think it was a good small SUV, and especially if you look at the Trailblazer, I think it's worth it looking at the Encore. While it's a little bit smaller, not too much, it offers a lot more value, I think, while still being like $2,000 more expensive. The Encore aspect was $39,578 Canadian. It's just $2,000 more than the Trailblazer we tested, and it comes up with a lot of more features. For example, I really loved like the whole array of cameras we had in the Buick Encore. We have like wide angle and regular view, front and back with 360 degrees. We have, for every wheel we have a camera. It was really nice, and the whole feature palette just looked a bit nicer, and the interior was really nice. So I was really happy with the Encore, I think. Like I said, if you want a bit more information, I highly suggest watching my Trailblazer video, which you can find up there in the little eye. If you just click it, you can find it. While it's still a different car, most of the information you get there does apply to the Encore. But if you have any further questions, make sure to put them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer those within about 24 hours, so I can get you all the information you need, because this is obviously a little bit of a different video, and maybe I have missed something. Anyhow, I just want to quickly address one thing. I said in the Silverado review that we got a Sierra 84 coming. That one, you probably noticed by now, did not come, because right after I made that video, Ontario got put into a lockdown and had to be cancelled, and then I had to quarantine, and yeah, a lot of stuff happened basically. But don't you worry, in about a week or two, there's going to be the next video, and then we got, in the next 6 weeks, I got 5 cars coming. We got new brands, we got another truck, we got some cool stuff coming up, and probably afterwards we got some more cars coming. I'm pretty confident with more cars coming after that. So yeah, you made it through the drought. Now the cool videos are coming, and if this is the first video of me you see, I highly suggest taking a look at the other videos, because they're way better. This is just kind of like well, it's a quarantine video. It's kind of a little weird, I know. Sorry for that. But thank you very much nonetheless for watching this video. I want to thank also everybody at General Motors who made sure and dealt with this hassle that I created. Of course, it's not like I'm really at fault for doing that. It just sometimes it happens right now during a pandemic that you have to quarantine. But still, they allowed me to keep the car for longer, because I obviously couldn't drive it back, and then they made sure that I'm able to organize that the car comes back, and they offered me alternatives, and they're just really accommodating for the issue and for creating a solution to the problem that was best for everybody involved. So thank you again to everybody at General Motors for doing that. And yeah, there's not much more to say, except for I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Like I said, about 2 weeks out, we got a Kia Sorento coming, and then we got new brands and trucks and cool stuff. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.